Hi everybody, this is Laura at Sheer Passion. Thanks so much for watching the videos. My cats might jump up on my lap because I'm sitting in the living room and these babies are so beautiful. They love it when Joshua and I sit down, so you might see them come in and out. I wanted to talk to you today on this Mother's Day about something really important to me, about community. You know, it's funny that on Mother's Day, being a stepmom is something that is so important to me. But what is even greater to me is the community that I have with all of you guys. Because of mothers, we have children, and those children grow up to be adults. And the most important part about this world is humans. I really think that the Lord had created me to fully understand that when we start understanding the value of community, how quickly the world can change. I really believe that being a mother is so important, but more importantly, mothers come out of relationships with husbands, and we get to be families that live in communities and open up doors to love and support when we need it most. You know, some of the things that I've learned over my life is that being as chatty as I am, not everybody opens up and wants to see the world in a positive light. And you know, I've sat many hours and I've opened up often in the kitchen with my husband talking about things like, what would we gain by thinking that way? What do we gain by being in society and part of a community where we are not laughing and carrying on at our own differences? Now, some of you might say that you do laugh. In what forum? How do you laugh? Do you laugh because you're out at a restaurant on a Friday night and drinking and you've sort of lowered those inhibitions? Do you laugh at other people's expenses? Or are we opening up laughter in our own homes because genuine humor, which is linked to joy and understanding our purpose, is something that is created inside the home? Community to me is people really valuing every minute of every day of their life. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to go through problems. I've been the first to admit that on these videos, there's many different problems that we can go through. But one of the things that I am wanting us to think about is the part in community that we play. There have been so many times where I get up in the morning and I ask the Lord to send just the yuckiest of things my way, because I believe that I was created differently. I can actually take a lot of junk and sift through it. It doesn't burden me. To be quite honest with you, I thrive on that type of thing. And I love it. I enjoy it. I enjoy helping people understand we are not broken by these issues in our family. We're not broken by financial issues. We're not broken by sexual issues. We're not broken by depression and anxiety. Do you know what breaks us down? Is not dealing with it. And the reality is, we don't deal with it because we're afraid of what our community might think. Well, let's rethink that. When we don't address things in our families, which are located inside of communities, all of us are broken down by that type of thinking. A support system that is built on genuinely understanding your value because a creator God has formed you and redeemed you through his son dying on the cross and his blood shed for you, gives you the opportunity to understand that every minute of every day has value. And what you put into it and what you do with it is up to you. Let's think even more deeply. In the first decade of my life, I didn't understand everything that God had designed me for. And in the second decade of my life, I pretty much pushed the boundaries on what I was designed for. I'm now in the third decade of my life, and I am understanding fully what I can do with the Lord and what I can do on my own. They're two very different things. Each day, when I start my day, I start out in prayer that the Lord would use me to build community. Now, I don't need to know every single person that I run into at the grocery store, the post office, or every single person that walks through the salon door. But the one thing that I can do is make sure when I interact with those people, they sense something different about me. That different feeling that I give them may be just an extra smile or the ability to see through my eyes that they are welcome, that they may come near me, they can talk to me, and then I try to relate to them as a human being. Now, how do you do that? How do you relate to somebody that you've just met or you only see passing by on the streets or at the gym? How do you relate to somebody? Let's be honest. The only way we can relate to others is if we would genuinely try to get to know ourselves. That's a challenge that I want to put you guys under. You have got to start evaluating who you are, how you act, and are they in line with who you want to be and how you want to act, how you want to see the world. You know, change can begin with us. If I want to be a great woman, I have to do things that require greatness out of me. Even when I'm tired and when I'm frustrated, I still have to choose things that would be great, meaning I have to take care of myself first. For me to expect you to do anything, I would need to do it first. For me to expect you to be held accountable, I have to be held accountable. I have to be willing to use accountability every day. For me to know what it is like to choose to do things even when I'm tired, I have to do it. I have to try to relate to you. I have to know that every job is a decision made. So when you get up and you're leaving for work and you're on the road, I have to try to relate to you that you have somewhere that you need to be. I do try to smile when I'm driving because, you know, we can actually see each other inside of our cars. And driving while looking miserable looks miserable. So the reality is when I'm at red lights, do I sit and stare forward? No, I do try to turn my head left or right. And I do try to make sure that people see that I see them and I smile. You know, that can make a huge difference in your community. How does that build community? How does that build community? I don't know that person. I don't know if I'll ever see them again. Folks, the reality is the spirit realm is larger than we are. And that person's spirit, after you smile at them, lets them know that their value is fully linked to the Lord. It's not in whether or not I know them. It's that they're alive and breathing air. And the Lord has called us to love. Isn't it easier to love a stranger that you don't know much about? We actually have no excuse. It's people in our family trees that we know too much about makes it harder to love them. So we really have no excuses to smiling at people in cars. That would be the easiest thing to do. So when you start realizing that we don't do that either, that's because we don't relate to ourselves. we have to understand what that would feel like and that it's a choice to turn left or right and smile at somebody that you don't know instead of just staring forward. Being silly, singing in the car, dancing, not just sitting there. Or maybe calling somebody that we don't get to catch up on and making that effort to say hello. There is nothing different about being extroverted and being female. There's decisions that need to be made to make an effort to build community. Every decade that you go through, you're going to recognize that not everyone travels with you. Not everyone has the same goals set, and not everyone actually makes each other better. And that's okay. The difference is in knowing that it's okay to separate and give peace and allow people to go on their own way so they can flourish. Without understanding that community needs to be built, and community is something that is not given. Community is something that we need to give to so that it exists. You can feel connected to your community just by smiling more, just by looking at people in the face and understanding, just by asking people, are they a mother? Things like that. What about all the women that you pass on the street that you're not sure? Or do you consider stepmothers or guardians mothers? What makes a mother? And so these are all of those things that can set the tone for the community that we're building. I wanted to pass this forward and let you know, being a stepmother is one of the best gifts that I have ever been given. To be extra selfless and to know that you're never going to take the place of the biological mother, but you can teach people how to flourish and watch them grow. That's the community that you want your children to live in. That's going to require you and I to focus on our value and what we can do in a positive way. On this Mother's Day, I wanted to leave you with that encouragement. I'm out here doing it with you every single day, no matter what my feeling is on that day. I want to think through it. I want to act better than I did yesterday and build community with the people around me. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning into the videos. I want to encourage you to pass them along to your friends. Maybe it'll be a conversation starter. Just be an encouragement. Check out the blog, Sheer Passion to Blog at blogspot.com. It's SHEERPASSION, the number 2, at blogspot, to blog at blogspot.com. Thanks so much. Bye.